Okay, so nobody has endured a reversal of fortune, a career about face. Then what I sense is a beautiful, liberating renaissance like my old amigo Armie Hammer. He is live in studio today. I cannot wait to see the Hammer. Guys, he's 6'4". There, let's pant. There he is. Look at that handsome devil. It's Hammer time here on Hot Mics with Billy Bush. But first, we got Blake Lively. And by the way, the mommy sleuths are being taken to task over their treatment of her. Is it fair? Hot Mics with Billy Bush, presented by our friends at LA Golf, starts right now. All right, we are live on TuneIn and YouTube, and it is Hammer time on Hot Mics today. Tumescent at the idea of my old friend Armie Hammer being here today. Figure of speech. Great man, interesting guest. So much life he's lived. He's not even 40 yet. First, an article came out in Glamour magazine by Stephanie McNeil entitled "Inside the Blake Lively Hate Campaign Fueled by Mommy Sleuths." That is a phrase coined by our guest coming up on Wednesday, Candace Owens. But the subheading really nails the author's grievance. It says the death of Me Too and embrace of patriarchal ideals isn't coming from politics. It's coming from women online. Basically, women doing other women dirty. The Me Too movement, kind of lost its momentum when it ignored nuance and discernment. Armie Hammer lost his career and life as he knew it for none other than being a kinky bastard, which you're into, you're into. The effects of this overcorrection of men are, felt today. Less marriage, less dating, declining birth rates. 60% of men won't mentor a female. Like so much of the woke progressive left. Writers like Megan Twohey of the New York Times took some bad apples and made it a pandemic. Then they had carte blanche to blow up fellas wherever they looked vulnerable. Stephanie McNeil's mistake in her article about the takedown of Blake by mommy sleuths is giant and glaring. Big mistake. You see, she paints Blake Lively as the victim. Not a victim of Baldoni, although I'm sure she believes that, but the victim of other women who are ruining Blake's reputation for daring to accuse a man of sexual harassment. That's not what they're doing. They're calling out a liar who's abusing her power to get what she wants. Control of a movie that's not hers. She accuses these justice warriors, citizen journalists, mommy sleuths, of turning on one of their own. This idea that women as a monolith who think, act, and believe as one, I kind of reject. Strong women like Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Jessica Krause, the House and Habit woman, who was so influential in the Trump election, and Steph with the Deets, who is a friend of ours on TikTok. She's been all over this stuff. They kind of can't stomach that sort of sad and defenseless narrative. So, no, the evidence at this point is overwhelming. Blake is the toxic aggressor in this instance. She kept holding up production with fake illnesses. She made narcissistic demands for control. She threatened the studio and Baldoni if they didn't comply, saying she would not promote the film if they didn't do what she wanted, including put out a public statement written by she and Ryan for Baldoni. Here, we wrote this for you. Just sign your name and put this out, taking all the blame for every problem we've had. He wouldn't do it. Blake made a complaint full of lies. She bit his lip in that, one scene where she said that hers was bitten. Then the video comes out, it's hers. In every ounce. She called him into the trailer while she was pumping milk. The texts show it. She said he walked in, he was creepy. He and the other guy, Jamie Heath, the other producer. No, you said in the text, come in. At every turn, it's not going her way. She claimed there were complaints by other actresses to Sony. Sony says, no, we didn't get any other complaints. You know some of this, right? She put an innocent guy on blast in a civil complaint filed with the state of California. 2 days later, with her publicist, allegedly, and most obviously, they colluded with the New York Times to ruin Baldoni. I spoke to a source yesterday who told me that he's being deposed in this whole thing. He says it's Blake who's out of control. She plucks the strings of her husband, too. We all think, that humorous skit, humorous, not really that humorous, that Ryan Reynolds put together. Ryan's mom, Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman? What is Hugh Jackman doing in all this? You are a serious A-list actor. Why are you involved in a skit with Ryan and Ryan's mom and we're beating up a visibly uncomfortable Brandon Sklenar who's sitting there? Well, guess it's not all Ryan. That's directed by Blake. Our friend Steph with the Deets pointed that out on TikTok. Blake directed that whole skit. This is a movie about domestic violence. Why are we doing skits like you're trying to sleep with my wife? It's really weird. You're trying to replace my best friend, says Hugh Jackman. Poor Hugh has got some serious remorse about participating in this, I have to imagine. And Sklenar, oh my God, this Brandon Sklenar guy, he looks visibly uncomfortable wherever he goes. He goes to South by Southwest. He mumbles through whatever answers they ask him on the red carpet. He goes to the Vanity Fair after party. He mumbles through whatever questions they ask him about. And he's sitting there with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, Deadpool and Wolverine, two giant stars. And they're like, this is going to be really funny. I'm going to attack you for being into my wife and, trying to replace me. And just really awkward, uncomfortable conversations to have. But you're Brandon Sklenar, and eventually you want to get on the level of Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. You don't say no. It's like, back in the day if Regis and Matt Lauer said to me, hey, we're going to do this. Little Billy Bush is going to say, okay, because I want to be like you guys one day. I get it. So I just see that poor bastard. I'm like, I hope you get to the place where you can say no at some point. No one says no to these people. So back to the author, Stephanie McNeil, who wrote this in Glamour magazine. If she's interested in reviving the sanctity of Me Too, you picked the worst possible, quote unquote, victim. Planting your flag on Mount Lively is a mistake. Look, here's some of what Stephanie McNeil, she posted yesterday about her article, and then she quickly deleted it. Let's take a listen.
A lot of these creators will say things like, I'm not beholden to corporate media. I don't get paid for this. I'm only doing this because I believe in the truth. But they are not only getting paid for creating this content, they get paid the more dramatic that it is, the more they can keep you guys engaged, the more crazy it is, the more theories they can come up with. They are the ones profiting off of the Blake Lively drama.
All right, Steph McNeil makes an interesting point there. She makes the point that, look, I work for Glamour magazine. My salary is the same whether I get 10 clicks on a story or 10 million clicks, which is interesting, by the way. You should redo your deal because a lot of bloggers, get paid on clicks. That's why the headlines are so grabby. And then you actually open up the article and there's not much inside. But, what she's saying is, yeah, the more outrageous it gets on social media, the more clicks it gets. And then there's more, they make more money. I think that's a good point. And I often have to check with myself, being like, I get metrics. I see what people are interested in. The truth is, I'm very interested in this story because I don't know, maybe I've just been too many rude publicists over the years, that just guard, people and carry the bag and lie for liars. And, look, the ones you think are great, those celebrities, the big actors that you think are great, you're like, that's probably you're usually right. The ones you can sense, people always ask me, who's a good guy? So like Will Smith is a good guy. Tom Cruise is a good guy. They didn't get to be big stars like this. I'll tell you who else is a good guy. Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer's a really good guy. He's charming. He's nice. He's always been that way. Up or down. Hello, Hammer.
Don't tell anybody. I have a new reputation to protect here.
What is it?
Cannibal rapist. We're just going for it, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to say that, by the way? Does it, when you can you just, because the worst is over?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny for me now in the sense that, like, look, are there things that probably could have stuck, that didn't, sure. But the thing that stuck is this very weird, bizarre thing, but it's also incredibly liberating because...
Have you ever eaten a body part?
Never. I mean, I don't even think I've ever eaten one of my own fingernails.
I eat the side
But
of
do you,
mine.
the cuticles, do you spit them out or do you swallow them?
Swallow.
See, you're more of a cannibal than I am.
I am.
This is amazing.
I know. You'd think you'd go for like something like this. If you looked at my nails, you'd say, "This. I need to go."
By the way,
see
I pull my that's my nervous thing too. The sides of my thumbs, they're just not safe.
Before we have so much to get into, Hammer. By the way, I love you. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for.
Love you too, man. Thanks for having me.
I walked out the door. The doorbell doesn't ring. I see this giant guy standing outside the door. How long were you there?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
You worked with Blake Lively. You were on Gossip Girl for 4 episodes.
I was, yeah.
Did she fire you? Did you get fired? What happened? Why did you leave after 4? You're so handsome.
Listen,
you were like,
dude, listen.
You played
Here's
a
my
douchebag
official
millionaire.
Here's my official take on the whole thing that's going on is that there is another fight going on that I'm not involved in and I have not been dragged into, and I'm perfectly happy with that.
Right.
I've got enough of my own problems before throwing my hat into someone else's ring. Like, I'm good. I'm good.
Blake is A, Baldoni's B. You can see your way.
I actually,
Look
funny
at
enough,
you.
I'm
seeing this picture of you on Gossip Girl right now. You're at a table.
I was a child.
You have a light blue, powder blue sweater, and you're
course.
having some Chardonnay.
I was actually also in acting class with Justin Baldoni when I was 19 years old.
Really?
20 years old. Yeah, I mean, this is almost 20 years ago now.
Did you hang out in between scenes? Did you work lines together?
Yeah, we did like some scenes together, I'm sure. Yeah, he seemed like a great guy. I mean, I didn't really know him that well, but I mean...
He was nice.
Listen, bro, you're not dragging me into this. I'm not getting involved.
No?
That drama is their drama.
Sure?
I want nothing to do with it.
Are you sure, Hammer?
Oh, I don't want that smoke at all.
No? But you got a kissing scene with her. Was she a good kisser? You can say that.
I don't even remember, dude. I don't even remember.
You don't?
I wouldn't say if I did. I'm not getting involved. This is not my fight.
Hammer. We got a whole...
I have had
the
enough.
Greek chorus in here, they don't believe it.
I have had enough trial by media fire in my life. I'm good. I'm good. Trust me.
I feel a little bit like myself, who's had some media fire as big time, that I have antibodies. I feel like
100%.
I joke with people. I say, no, I've got the antibodies. You can't do me twice.
I actually say that I have been vaccinated against having to care what people think about me. That's like my line.
And how much did you care about what people thought of you when you were in every movie?
It was my entire sense of self. What people said about me, what people thought about me, what people said about my movies, that was the only place that I knew where to get any validation in my life. And then when that all went away, you learn to actually give yourself the validation that you're looking for from external sources. You learn to find that inside of you. And then once you actually find your own sense of internal validation, what other people think about you just doesn't matter. Like someone could walk up and go, "You're an asshole." And you go, "Okay." But someone can walk up and go, "You're the greatest thing since sliced bread." And you go, "Okay." But you don't have to believe either of them.
Did you ever get to were you in a place ever that you sort of drank your own Kool-Aid? And you thought you were so cool?
I mean, I never drank my own Kool-Aid, but I mean, honestly, like I had my own sort of like self-worth issues of sort of like never thinking that I deserved anything, never thinking that I was valuable.
Imposter complex, they call it?
Imposter syndrome out the wazoo. Like that was me 100%. So was I using public perception to sort of like feed this black hole of validation inside of me? Yes. Did it ever get full to the point where I believed it? No.
Did anyone ever tell you that every actor has that?
Yeah. Yeah, but there's
That's
a
why they're
reason
actors.
that we choose this profession. Like, there's a reason we go on to this weird sort of like junkie, gambler, carny lifestyle. Like, we're always on the move. You never know when your next job's coming. There's no job dependency, but the perks that you get are pretty good.
Oh.
But then when the perks go away and you're only left with the downside of the job, then you're kind of very quickly like, what am I doing here?
Wow.
So now I'm a, bottom shelf podcaster, killing it.
No, wait a minute. But you've got the light is in your eyes. Yep. I see a clear. Are you still sober?
I would say I'm behaviorally sober, but I'm not like physically sober. Like what
does that mean?
I came to realize that like I was calling myself an alcoholic or I was calling myself a drug addict because it was easy for me to put a label on something to explain why this problem in my life was existing. I'm certainly not here to talk anybody out of whatever it is that they're doing that's
What
good
was
for
this
them.
problem that was existing? What do you mean? This problem that was...
Oh, that the entire world decided to hate me and call me a cannibal and all that stuff.
So
I was like, I can explain my behavior by just saying I was an alcoholic. That's easy for me to do. And I didn't drink for almost 4 years. Didn't touch a drop of alcohol. And then it just kind of started to become clearer to me that like alcohol is not actually my core issue here. Self-worth, self-validation, like all of that was my core issue. I have to get to the bottom of that. And then everything else will work itself out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I still don't, like, I don't drink much. Like I don't get drunk. I don't.
You got 4 years of the experience of waking. My father had a great line. I always quote it. Everyone gets tired of it. They're all rolling their eyes. My dad said nobody ever woke up in the morning and said, "Man, I wish I had another drink last night." And that is a great line. I mean, when you've had 4 years of really good sleep and like,
yeah.
And then if you do drink
like,
too much, you're like,
I would
oh,
have dreams. There were years I didn't have any dreams. Because if you're medicating yourself to the point of falling asleep, you're not like getting good REM cycle sleep. You're waking up tired and you feel like shit. And like, man, I feel great. I honestly feel great every single day. And like now I wake up and it's to the point where like, as soon as my alarm goes off, before I even move, before I do anything, I just kind of connect with myself. And I sort of like connect with like my body and see what I'm feeling. And then I just say to myself, this is going to be an awesome day.
Now,
and I'm right.
drugs,
and if I woke up and I said, this is going to be a shitty day, I'd be right.
Yeah. Drugs, alcohol, all that stuff. I mean, whatever it is out there. Would you say it was, numbing? Just numbing?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, the sort of like line that you would use for it is they're maladaptive coping mechanisms. It's like you're trying to make yourself feel better on the inside by shit you put in yourself from the outside, but it just doesn't work. We've got enough research to show it just doesn't work.
Do we need to take a little break, Ski, do we need to do a little break before we get, okay, we've got some bills to pay. Would you like this to be an advertisement or one that's read by me? Would you like me to read this? Let's have a reading one. Here we go. I like
this.
Hot Mics, Army, with Billy Bush is proudly sponsored by LA Golf, the most technologically advanced golf gear on the market. Now, this is true. This isn't one of those things I read. Like if they handed me a male diapers, thing.
Sure.
They're paying a lot of money. Then you read it because you're not attached to it. I have these clubs. And by the way, I'll get you a fitting.
Okay.
And like your swing speed, because I know you love golf, your swing speed, the new driver head is matched to your swing speed. And the new shaft designed by DeChambeau himself, your little spray to the right, your spray to the left, whatever it is, narrows that. So now you're missing a little right and a little left, which means you're hitting a second shot pretty much every time.
So then are these LA golf clubs, because it's DeChambeau, are they all the same length like he plays? Or?
No.
Okay.
No, DeChambeau wouldn't do that to everybody.
Okay.
But they're unbelievable. And the putter, it's almost like you're cheating. I'm nailing putts from everywhere. And as you know, in a match, that's everything.
You're dangerous to play golf against. That's
LA
for sure.
Golf, LAGolf.com. Okay? Boom. And just like that, you want more? You want more? Here's a little tape. Watch this. I'm in this commercial. Take a look. Let's see if you can find.
Welcome to LA Golf. You guys ready for the tour? We're the only golf company that manufactures its clubs here in the United States. All LA Golf drivers are built right here.
I'm very excited for today's production. It's going to be
4 left.
Anybody hungry? So does he like work here?
Work here? He lives here.
Billy Bush cameo?
Yeah, I didn't have the monitor facing you, but
Yeah.
I was driving a forklift right past Dustin Johnson, who was working a grill.
Love it.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, Armie Hammer is with us here. If you're listening on TuneIn, YouTube, Hammer Time. So I know a bit of it. I know my own experience, but great friend said life is a shit sandwich, eat it or starve. You seem to have done very well.
Yeah.
How do you feel today? And what do you want to do? I want to start now and then,
Yeah.
get some perspective.
I feel great. And that's not hyperbolic at all. Like, I'm a better dad. I'm a better friend. I'm a better human. Like, everything that I went through actually made me better. And so I can now look at everything that happened and be incredibly grateful for it. I mean, there are still things that sting about it, but at the end of the day, like where I'm at right now, it was worth everything I had to go through. And I know that you feel the same way.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I feel like I'm a better person, a nicer person. We have talked about this.
Yeah.
That said, I mean, would you go through it again? Not that specific.
Here's what I say about it. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Right.
But I would hope something like that would happen to all the people that I care about because of how much it helped me grow.
And everything, look, nobody goes unscathed. I mean, everyone's going to go through. If you haven't, you're going to.
You just haven't yet.
And it's going to have a different set of circumstances. Yours are very unique. Mine are wildly unique, involving a man who is president again.
But
now,
the thing that happened with you is so crazy to me because you got nailed by proximity. You know, it's like you had this moment on a hot mic, if you will.
Well, I mean, this is taking ownership of it.
By the way, which you have to do.
Right?
It's your story. You might as well own it.
I say the mics are still hot. I just know they are.
Right. Okay, but
I have them.
But be honest. You knew those mics were hot.
No. No.
How long have you been in the entertainment business, Billy?
Well,
you're wearing a lav.
If you're wearing
listening.
one, you should assume, I guess.
But
Trump knows that better than
this,
anybody.
100%.
And he didn't, and he was always very careful. I once did an interview with Donald Trump.
He's Teflon, though. It was never going to stick to him. You got nailed because you were standing next to him.
The Icarus effect.
You can't hit that guy. You flew too close to the sun. But I was.
Isn't it funny? He looks like the sun too. He's got he's orange and
he looks like okay, I'm not even gonna go there. But I was thinking about it where I was like, that would actually be like a really genius thing of Billy if he knew those mics were going.
Oh God, no! If I knew they were going, I would have said, "How dare you say such a thing? I will not ride on this bus with you." And I would have.
But that's
thrown
not
him
what you're
under the bus.
supposed to do as an interviewer.
Right.
That's not what you're supposed.
No,
if someone came on your show and you admonished them about anything,
you
would be a
fluffed them.
terrible host. You want to keep them talking. So when I heard what happened with you and heard the tapes and all that, I was like, oh, Billy's keeping this guy talking. This is good television. Billy knows what he's doing. And then I thought everyone would just look at him and go, hey, you said those things. But instead they didn't. They looked at you and said, hey, you were standing next to him when he said those things.
It's amazing.
How dare you? We're going to take everything away from you.
Never mind what he said. Why did you laugh at that?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
But it was also, for me, it was like, there's Today Show politics. I was at the Today Show. There's politics of who, the new guy is never overly welcome. You have to survive like the first several months of the Mean Girl
Before
Club.
you get your own locking door
and then you
button.
get your stripes. Like, for example, if that had happened at Access Hollywood, where I had been for 15 years, I don't believe, by the way, the executive producer of Access Hollywood right there, I don't think I would have been fired there. I mean, I don't think after 15 years.
Unless it was over my head, I would never have fired you for that.
Never.
I would have admonished you, though. But I would never have fired you.
How would you have admonished me? Like spanking?
Bill, you laugh too hard. That's probably all I would have said to you.
Yeah.
I would have admonished you and said, look, next time you have it on audio, get it on camera, too. That would have been my note. That would have been my
Where's your
one
cameraman?
note. Yeah. But it's interesting, though, because,
But it's life.
It's almost like it was supposed to happen to you because you didn't say it. You didn't encourage it. You were just there listening. But it's almost like you had to pull this thing into your life that got rid of everything in your life that you didn't want anymore or that didn't serve you.
I think you're right.
But you didn't know how to do it. So this situation came up, but it was supposed to happen for you. It wasn't supposed to happen for him. It was supposed to happen for you.
I think it was a last call. I'm a man of faith. I believe it was a last call. I believe in my life I hadn't gone through anything real. I think I was like a sheltered kind of person. And I got the mother load when it came, and you're thrown out of the cave, and no one takes, you're not going to get hired, and you can't work, and you can't do this, and you are hiding from paparazzi, and all this.
But that's all
anxiety
the
comes
stuff.
down, but you survive it, and then you finally realize, okay, now you're ready for life there, big guy.
But this is the funny thing about it is, the paparazzi, the this, the that, the being shunned, the whole thing.
Wait, who's the guest on this show for a second?
Listen, I'm taking over.
Hammer's awfully good. I'm going to make sure we're following his podcast.
By the way, you're coming on my podcast. We're doing this.
I can't wait.
Yeah, but the thing about it that's really interesting is all of the external stuff, sure, that sucks. But the internal aspect of this is like, I mean, you said it yourself, like you had lived this kind of like charmed life. I lived a charmed life as well.
I'm interviewing celebrities and,
and you're having a ball,
you're
you're having fun, and like you're great at golf. You got all these things, right?
Handsome.
But yeah, shockingly handsome.
Full head of hair. I mean, still going at 53. Howie Mandel's in there, by the way. Cut it. Bald. Wears a hat now all the time. I don't know. He's a beautiful bald man. One of America's famous bald guys. Howie Mandel watching us right now.
Love it. Yeah. Him, President Truman, nailing it.
By the way, you know what I call him? Fred Trump. Howie is the landlord here. We all
Yeah.
we pay how he comes. Look,
kiss
he's
the ring.
actually just here to pick up a check. Here you go. Look at him. He's just here to pick up a check. Oh my!
Where is it?
Where's the check?
But like living that kind of charmed life, it leaves you almost like veal. You know, it's like you're in this protected little thing. You're like Kobe veal, where it's like someone just gives you alcohol and gives you massages and you have this wonderful, easy life, but you're never walking, you're never trying, you're never earning, you're never doing all this shit. So you also don't have calluses. So like you're not used to dealing with that kind of adversity. So when something like this happens, it hurts. I don't think people realize, like, unless you've been through something in your own life, and it's all relative, right? It's all subjective. But if you go through something like that, it hurts. But like pain, unfortunately, for better or for worse, pain is the great teacher, you know?
I am afraid it's
No
the
one learns
only
lessons
way.
the easy way.
Yeah.
No one. I can't count the amount
The
of lessons
guy
I
who
didn't
writes
learn.
a self-help book and he hasn't been through a total shitstorm, like, you
Yeah.
have no right to write that.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Now look, I was young when I got married.
Mm.
Were you 23 years old?
23 or 24, yeah.
24, and so you got married in 2010.
Yep.
Same time as the Winklevi. Same year.
I got married while we were almost done shooting Social Network.
Did anyone say to you, you need to live some more life before you... Why did you get married so young? Were you just so head over heels or pregnant or...
Yeah, no. We were not pregnant. But I think I got... This is going to get very real.
Yeah.
I think I got married because I was afraid of being alone. I also found a woman who was very kind of similar to my mother in a sort of like Freudian way of like very big personality, very domineering. You do this, do that, don't wear this, you can't go blah, blah, blah. So it's almost like the inner child inside of me, that sort of like wounded inner child, needed a parent. And I kind of found someone to be my parent. But then everything that transpired. And like I had to then go back and raise that inner child to be like, I'm an adult now.
Wow, yeah.
Like we're okay. So now I don't need a parent anymore. I don't need anybody anymore. I need my kids. But besides that, like I don't need anything anymore.
Wow.
Like
So
I'm good.
This reckoning was coming in some way for you. Like,
Huge, dude.
Huge.
If it wasn't that, and by the way, there were probably other instances that could have been the reckoning that weren't. So like, they're like, he's still not getting it. All right, drop an anvil on his head.
Yeah, he's not getting it.
Yeah.
Now I remember you said like the first time you mentioned in like 2013, you said like, this is where I'm into BDSM. I'm into this stuff. These things come back later. Everyone's like just an
to
actor,
haunt you.
just an actor being an actor saying crazy things, but not with your wife because that wouldn't be a good thing. That was tucked away in your whole story to come back later.
Yeah.
But it wasn't then. Then you go on to big movies. You're doing movies with Chalamet, and you're the one after the other. And it starts to get bigger and bigger. And then you self-destruct in some way.
Spectacular fashion.
But you did it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, people definitely like went over the line and said some,
Yeah, but they wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't give them traction.
Good for you.
Like I do have to take full accountability for my part in it. Can I look at other people's behavior in a situation and go, well, that wasn't right, or you lied, or anything like that? Sure. But if I hadn't have been doing what I was doing, then none of that would have worked anyway.
You created fertile ground for your
Hoisted by my own petard, as Shakespeare would say.
My own what?
Petard.
What is a petard?
It's a breaching weapon that they would use in medieval times to ram up a gate of a castle so they could run underneath it. But if a soldier ever got in front of it, he would get spiked and hoisted by his own petard. I'm glad I knew what that actually meant since you asked.
Right. Oh, man.
I'm like, hoisted by his own petard. What's that mean? No clue. But it sounds
Hoisted
good.
by my own petard.
Yeah.
So you're making all these...
I was petarded, if you will.
You were... You can say that.
I can say it now.
You can say the P word.
Yeah.
Is it P or is it B? A petard?
Petard.
Petard.
Yeah.
So you're making all these unbelievable movies, and do you just start to feel at some point like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little crazy. Like I'm feeling like I'm gonna do something.
I think I've been crazy my whole life. This is probably why I don't have a corporate job.
Yeah.
I don't think I would qualify. But I remember as the success was coming, I never felt like it was supposed to be happening. Like I never felt like I deserved it. I never felt like I earned it. I never felt like I was good enough for this.
Did you ever give
it was
a
the
performance?
imposter syndrome. I was waiting for someone every day on set. I was waiting for someone to go, actually, you know what? This isn't working with him. Like, let's recast him. Let's get anyone else in. Like, I always thought that call was going to come. But like, that's my own thing that I wrestled with at the time. I don't have that anymore. Like, partially because I haven't been on set to feel it. But like, you know, I it's just not.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I've worked. I've done 2 films in the last couple of months.
Oh, are they as they say in the biz, in the can?
2 in the can.
Two in the can. They're in post.
We're in post. We're in post. Yeah, we're doing color correction on one of them, and an assembly on another.
Oh, so 2 movies.
Two movies.
Are they like $100,000 movies, or are they like big movies?
Yeah, not far
Is there
off.
a studio in there that?
Studio, dude. Have you?
Is it
no.
like-
Do you know my reputation? The studio's not. A lawyer is not signing off.
These are
on me.
indies, that we say.
These are very small indies. Yeah, I did a film with Uwe Boll, which was a lot of fun.
I'm gonna nod like I know who Uwe Boll is.
Yeah. He is a madman. He's a crazy person, and he's the best. And working with him was so much fun.
What's the movie?
Well, it was called The Dark Knight.
Hoisted by his own petard.
And I was like, "You're gonna call the movie The Dark Knight?" And he goes, "Yeah, you can't copyright the title of a film." And I was like,
it's called Batman.
"Yeah, but listen, there is a Dark Knight, and it was a good movie, and a lot of people like it." He goes, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And I was just like,
this is a darker night.
Okay. And then I did another, I did a Western in Arizona that was called Frontier Crucible, which was a lot of fun.
You've done Western before, and I
did. I almost killed the
I was
Western
worried
genre.
about the horse when you were doing Western, because
Yeah.
but you could also just like walk.
I didn't even need a saddle. I just hooked my feet underneath it. My legs were so long.
Oh my God! So you've got 2 movies in the can.
Yeah, and other stuff that's like it's very interesting, you know, because for 4 years I didn't work at all. Like my phone didn't ring, and then now I went through what I needed to go through. I learned what I needed to learn, and now it's almost like things are kind of opening up again. But I'm getting a very different.
Is it
view of
because
the
you let go?
business. Yeah, 100%.
Because I remember talking to you. We were on the phone years ago, and you were like, "Yeah. I mean, I'm not. It probably is not for me anymore. It's probably not my thing." And so, but you let it go.
I completely let it go. And I think it might be like that same thing where you're like, you know what? I'm never going to find a girlfriend. Dating is too hard. I'm over it. And then you bump into someone at like the takeout line, and then all of a sudden you have a girlfriend when you weren't looking for it.
Yeah, you know what? That's not how people work. I bet the line to date Armie Hammer got longer. Because of what you said.
Yeah, the line got long, but it's
I want
full,
someone to want me so badly they're going to eat my, foot.
Yeah, the line got really long. It just got populated with a lot of weirdos,
A lot of
which is
tramp
fine. I'm
stamps.
a weirdo. I get it.
You want to eat me, Hammer?
Yeah, it's a hard
you can
sell.
eat this.
It's a hard sell. I've asked friends. I was like, "Do you have any friends that you can hook me up with?" And they're like, "No,
No,
I'm like, all right,
not you.
fair. I guess I earned that one."
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But is it sweeter now as you, working?
Yeah, life is
Are
really
you better
sweet.
at it?
But you know what? This is the thing. I don't know. I've heard people be like, "Oh, now you're going to be able to bring all of your experience and everything you learned and all the emotional shit you went through. You'll be able to bring that to it." I haven't had a movie that's required that, so like I don't know. But I know that it feels even sweeter now because I have a really healthy understanding of the fact that whether I was working or not, that's not actually what defines me. So if I get a job, great. Does that mean anything about me? No. If I don't get a job, great. Does that mean anything about me? No. So it's like you learn to develop a sense of self independent of whatever is happening externally around you. And like that's the sweet spot.
Oh, man. What's the hardest part of getting up for you? I mean, I
Like in the morning?
I mean, in life, in career. I mean, well, you're so tall.
Yeah. What's the hardest part?
Like the hardest part of getting back up on your feet and walking again. I remember just being so
the fact that
depressed.
you're gonna
I was
have to do it
drinking
again.
myself to in an apartment overlooking, Santa Monica Ocean down,
Yeah.
I was on the 11th floor. Oddly enough, I moved in next to an 81-year-old man named Billy Bush. It was crazy. My next door neighbor was Billy Bush, and I was hiding from the paparazzi at this. The paparazzi's following me because they just want to get a shot of me looking miserable.
Yeah.
Which is, if they get my face, it's going to be miserable because
Yeah.
I was really miserable. But I'm hiding, and I moved to this apartment, and so the paparazzi didn't know I was there. Nobody knew I was there, and I walked into the building with my hat down every day. I was never this guy. No one cared about me at all. Now they care. So I get into the elevator. I go up every time. I never look at anyone in the eye when I'm in there. Finally, I'm in the laundry room, which you share with everybody on the floor. And this old dude comes in, and he goes, are you Billy Bush? And I went, damn it.
They're onto me.
They onto me. They got me. They knew it. And I said, yeah. And he says, I'm sorry. I think I cut off your cable. I said, yeah, shit. My cable went out like yesterday. Why? What'd you do that for? He goes, because I'm a DirecTV guy, and we just got confused. I said, well, you don't have to cut my... He goes, nah, yours ended up in my mailbox. I said, what's your name? He goes, same. I said, your name is Billy Bush, you wacky old man. Something's... And I asked him could you please go and get your ID and show it to me? And he said, sure. And he walked down to his hall, and he came back to the thing, and he showed me William G. Bush. And
Are
there he
you
was.
William?
And I called him Dad. From that point forward, he was my first friend.
Are you William?
I'm William.
William Bush. Yeah.
William H.
William
But
H.
he
Bush.
was William G. And his son
Which are
was
also
the
right
chairman.
next to it. You guys were neighbors, and your letters for the middle name are right next to each other.
That's right.
Yeah.
And his son was like the chairman of Northrop Grumman, a huge,
Defense
massive
contractors.
defense contractor down the street. And I was like, this has got to be wrong. I Googled up and said, CEO, Christian Bush. I said, okay, this guy checks out.
Yeah.
I called him Dad. We were buddies after that. And that was my beginning of recovery. But I was in a deeply sort of miserable...
How much were you drinking?
Just probably, every night,
Yeah.
Never to the point of like,
Listen, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning, though. Bro.
Right.
You got to up those
No,
numbers.
not a morning guy. I'd wait.
Not a
I'd still, disciplined. I'd wait till, 3.
Yeah. Did
And
that
get in-
creep
did
earlier
you-
and earlier?
When the shit hit the fan, did you go deeper before you?
Oh
went to rehab?
yeah. Because like it was interesting because when your world's on fire, you're like, this fluid will put the fire out, but it's flammable, and it just makes it so much worse. And absolutely, like I was drinking a lot, and I was never like a wake up in the morning and drink kind of guy. Unless it was like, where you're with buddies, you go get mimosas or you go like whatever. But yeah, I was drinking too much. I was drinking too much to try to like numb out what was going on. But it's interesting because when you're learning one of these life's painful lessons, the numbing out of it actually just makes you miss the whole thing that you're there to get anyway. And so it's like, you just missed what happened. So great. Well, guess what? Now you got to go through it again. And look, I'm going to fall on my face again at another point in my life. You're going to fall on your face on another point in your life.
Never like this, though. You're never going to get this is...
No, but it'll be something else. There's always something. You're never done. And by the way, I don't think you ever really want to be done. I think that this is the thing that makes life beautiful, is that sometimes it's awesome and sometimes it sucks. And you don't appreciate either without the balance of having the other,
What's the worst? What was the worst? Like something you couldn't go back to?
What do you mean?
Like the worst part of, people saying things about you? Was it things you read? Was it losing jobs? Was it?
The losing jobs sucked. And in terms of like the reading things written about me, there was a point, I want to say it was March of 2021, where like I was like the 5th most searched thing on Google globally.
Mm-hmm.
Armie Hammer cannibal was the 5th most searched thing on the entire planet. And it was just article after article after article from everything from, the Punjabi Times to, the Muskogee Telegraph. I'm making these up, but like...
No, it's called the link economy, and it's what keeps this insatiable beast going.
Have you seen that video of the newscasters where it's like, well, we have here, and then they say something, and then they do a split screen of the other one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one,
and they're all saying the same thing. Yeah.
It was like that, but except everyone was like, fuck that guy. Can I say fuck on here?
Yeah, sure.
All right. They were like, fuck that guy. The whole world was like, fuck that guy. And every time I picked up my phone, it would result in me having like pretty much a near full-blown panic attack.
Ice. Yeah.
And it was brutal. I got rid of my phone. I switched to a flip phone. That still didn't help. Like it just, everything was rough. It was really rough, but I would do it all again if it meant that I would get to where I feel or how I feel when I wake up in the morning now. I would do it again.
Did you ever have suicidal ideation?
Yeah, I tried to kill myself.
Yeah.
Didn't work. I wasn't good at it.
That means you didn't want to, right?
Yeah. Well, I was in the process, and then I thought about my kids, and that was the one where I was like, I like, it hit me that I was seeking a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And like, I was just going to fuck my kids up if I did this. Yep. And like, that's selfish. Like, I've already blown up my life. I can't do the same thing to my kids, you know?
The things you were accused of, you did not do. The DA dismissed very quickly. There are no criminal.
Quickly, dude, they investigated me for 2.5 years.
Oh, I thought it was...
they would not drop the investigation for 2.5 years.
They just sat on it.
Sat on it.
But the criminal, there's nothing criminal there. They gave up.
Yeah, it was never even. It was never even. It didn't even move to charges. It was an investigation, which is like,
just set.
We're just looking, and then they looked through my emails, computers, phone, text messages. They went through all of my stuff, and then I was like, okay, great. You guys have gone through all of my stuff. You see that this is not the case. So what now? And then they're like, we'll get back to you. And then like another year went by, and then another year went by, and I was like, what is happening? And I talked to somebody who was like, it's a political play. Like, what's going on? Like, you look exactly like the kind of person that they would give anything to nail right now.
Yeah.
And you look exactly like the kind of person.
Unsympathetic.
Yeah. You look exactly like the kind of person.
Handsome, rich actor.
that they can't be seen letting go. So if they came out and said, we looked at everything, there's nothing here. No one believes that. They go, well, you're only doing that because he's a straight white man, or he's a privileged white man, or whatever it is. Like, I looked exactly like the kind of person that they wanted to nail and couldn't let go of. And so it just dragged on and on and on and on.
You didn't do what they said, the worst thing they said you did, and you said it at the beginning, accused of rape, which is just...
It's insane.
That's a lot. But you did say, and you sort of owned it, emotionally, you were emotionally abusive, or would you say were you?
I was as inconsiderate and selfish as I ever want to be in my life. Meaning dating women, having sex with these people, like all of that was just another extension of me needing validation. And if these people want to have sex with me, that means that I'm worth something, or that means that there's something about me that people want. And I don't see it, but they see it, so I'll just lean on that. And then if once I got it from them and that person was willing to give it to me, I'll go get it from over there. And then that person over there, those two people over there, I'll go over there. Like, whatever it is. It just, I did it in a way where it was calloused and insensitive. And I
Does it come from childhood? The self-loathing part?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm sure it's like a compounded issue from a lot of different places. But like, childhood was a part of it. What I went through as like a young adult, like sexual abuse, like that kind of stuff. All that stuff.
As you were a kid, or were you,
yeah, 12. I was like 12.
I'll say I was 8. I have to say I also share that experience. I would say this: the statistics, whatever they are out there, they're far greater.
Oh yeah,
they're far greater. If they say 1 in 6 kids go through something like this, I guarantee you it's far greater.
There's only 2 of us in this room, and it's 100%. We're batting 1,000.
That's that's right.
Do you mind if I
what
ask
a therapy group this is? People must be like, look at those two guys. Jeez.
Was it a member of clergy? Was it someone close to
babysitter?
Babysitter.
Male. Yeah.
Yeah. That's rough, dude. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but listen, I mean, my therapist and lots of time and, buried it for 14 years or something. But then when it came out, it was so long, I don't carry it anymore. I don't, but it does account for some acting out, I mean, I was
absolutely.
as my dad said, I was on the dean's other list. I was constantly acting, out in ways.
Trying to get attention? Or?
So is that what you think that, oh yeah, totally. And look what I do for a living. I mean, see, I'm totally healed.
This all tracks.
I'm totally healed.
And I'm here too.
Hey, please hit the subscriber button down below.
Yeah. Love me, please.
Please, somebody love me. But you found you needed the validation, you needed the love, and do you feel like you got it?
Not from them, but I got it from me.
Yeah.
Because I got my life
by having
together.
Nobody love you.
Yeah. It was like, we need love, right? And if you're getting it from somewhere else, you don't need to give it to yourself. As soon as that goes away, you better learn real quick to give it to yourself. And now I look at the things that I'm proud of as a man, and it's like the dad that I am, the friend that I am, like all of these things make me proud of myself more so than, going to work on a movie ever did. Like these are things that actually like sit with me and last. It's like when my kids are scared and they like want me to hold them. I'm like, okay, like they feel safe with me. That makes me feel good as a man. Like those kinds of things.
Yes. And how old are your kids?
My daughter is 10 and my son is 8.
10 and 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
My 10-year-old daughter is 17 though. Like this is just a bizarre world that we live in.
It's so good. And how often do you? Is the schedule good? Do you get to spend?
Schedule's great. Yeah. I get to their house every morning at 6:30. I wake them up. I cook them breakfast. I help pack their lunch. I take them to school every day. I pick them up from school every day. I drive them around. On the weekends, I'm with them all the time. I mean, look, we don't have like a traditional custody kind of like schedule. I'm just with my kids all the time. And like, honestly, I'm with my kids more now than I was when I was married.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And I'm able to be present.
Because you were constantly, taking off to another movie or something.
Yeah. Or like I was just stoned all the time. Or like whatever. Or like, like, hey, can you watch the kids? I'm going out with my buddies.
I know a lot of parents that eat a gummy right now just to get through that little trip to the park.
Yeah. Oh, that was me.
I'm not one of them.
That was me. Yeah.
Not to say I don't like it before bed. Sometimes a little gummy for the sleep.
Listen, a little gummy for the sleep, like those CBD gummies, like those things work.
I read for 30 minutes and then it's wha-bang.
Yeah.
I'm down. I don't want to get you in trouble with the question, but with your ex, there was some betrayal. She didn't do you right, and you obviously did her wrong. Have you healed in some way? Can you co-parent? Do you communicate or no?
We do a very good job of co-parenting. I will say that, because both of us, no matter what, are more interested in the well-being of our kids than anything else. And, she's an incredible mom. Like, she really is an incredible mom. It's
I knew you guys were in the Caymans together.
Yeah.
Do you spend some time together with kids together? Can you do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And my daughter plays club volleyball, so we're always at volleyball tournaments together. And oh no, I mean, we're able to have a good time. And I think a lot of time has passed since the divorce and everything that happened there. And it's now to the point where we're able to be around each other and enjoy the good aspects of each other's personality that are the reason we ended up, being together in the first place anyway. It's like a lot of the drama's been washed away, and now it's like, oh, I remember that about you. That's awesome. It's fun.
If you'd gotten married at 33 instead of 23.
Yeah.
I don't know. You had this coming. No way. It doesn't matter. You would have just put it as... But it was...
Well, then it would have happened in my single days. It's like whatever it was. I don't know, dude. At the rate I was going, I was burning pretty fast. That story only ends in a death. That's it. You either die at 27 from drugs, or you have a career death, or whatever it is. Death is the outcome. So it was coming.
On the career death, which is the one that you had to give up? What role that just ate you alive for a while? Shotgun Wedding with J-Lo was the first one. I think you're okay getting out of that one.
Yeah, I was fine with that.
Here you go, Josh Duhamel. You can have it.
Yeah. By the way, I know Josh. It was very funny.
But The Offer, was that tough? The Offer, I love that series.
The Offer was
Miles
tough.
Teller stepped in for you.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. It was very kind of him. Very nice guy. That one was tough. That was tough because I knew Al Ruddy, who it was based on, and
I'd just passed away. Rest in peace, Al Ruddy.
I'd been friends with Al for years, and his wife Wanda. I was around those guys all the time, and this was something that I was really excited about, but wasn't meant to be.
So The Offer. Hammer, you said a couple things recently that got a lot of attention.
Okay, sure. What do we
you
got?
You said you kissed a boy and you didn't like it.
I did. I mean, I didn't hate it.
When was this?
Oh, this was maybe a year and a half ago, maybe. I'd have to check. But it's not that I didn't like it. It's just that it just didn't do what I was like, oh, let's see if it does this thing. And it just didn't do the thing.
And what prompted you to even try? Was it just...
Curiosity.
Just curiosity? Was it because I don't drink much anymore? I gotta poke the bears somewhere?
Yeah. Or let the bear poke me. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Still don't get it.
And you just like adventure.
I was like, you know what? Whatever.
Most people say if you're gonna try, then you're at least partially gay in some way.
I mean, this is to quote Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. This is Hollywood, baby. Everybody's a little gay every now and then. Come on, how do you think we get the jobs?
By the way, nominated for a Golden Globe in blackface, Robert Downey Jr.
Nominated for an Academy Award in blackface.
Was he really?
Yeah, an Academy Award. For
the Oscars.
The last time that anyone will ever be able to do blackface, and he got nominated. He did such a good job. He got nominated for an Academy
I
Award.
think they should kill everybody on the Academy. Should be fired for that. How could you nominate? That's terrible.
By the way, they should be fired for not giving it to him.
He was unbelievable. I did ask Ben Stiller recently. Anyway, wait. Back to this whole thing.
Oh, right.
It was a big Frenchman, you said. A very large
Not big,
Frenchman.
but like, I mean,
said he was big.
But bigger than any of the women I'd hooked up with before, like for sure. But like, by the way, there wasn't like this weird judgment thing on it where I was like, oh God, if I'm gay, like, what does that mean about me? Like, what? It goes back to that thing of like, I don't care. Like, I just don't care. I'm vaccinated against having to care what other people think. So like, am I curious about this thing? Yeah. Should I give it a try? Why not? What do I have to lose? I tried it, and it's fine.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
No movement.
No movement. Nah.
I think, is it maybe because he's a Frenchman? I mean,
you could be right.
You know, Frenchmen
That
are just
American
not...
DNA in me was like, I don't know, man. And I've had, by the way,
the like, French. I mean, they're riding around the l'Arc de Triomphe like they actually did something. You know,
you better watch out. That was really good. That was a really good French pronunciation. You better watch out, dude. You better watch out. And I've had a lot of my friends who are gay who are like, well, bro, like,
try me. All your gay friends are like, hey.
The amount of messages I got about that, incredible.
By the way, any movement right now? Just talking to me. I don't want to see it.
Yeah. I had a lot of my friends be like, are you crazy? And I was like, well, yeah. And they go, no, listen, you don't start with like a big bearded hairy man. Like, that's too much of a leap. You got to start. It's baby steps. Get yourself like a hairless twink. And I was like, all right, well, if I ever want to or need to try this again, like, now I know that, like, you start small. You start small.
Oh my God. Oh, Hammer.
Yeah.
You're free.
Dude, I'm free.
You're free.
I'm free as shit, man.
Beautiful. Are you watching the White Lotus at all?
No. I need to.
God.
Yeah.
You should be on the White Lotus. Mike White. I'm telling you, Armie Hammer on the White Lotus. You are the White Lotus. You get this. It is very. You got to start watching the White Lotus.
Should I start on season 1?
We have start on season 1.
Okay.
This is unbelievable what's going on in there. Recently, but by the way, we're seeing so many
penises,
just all over the place. Last night we had one. I think Rob, you. What did we? Last night we had. It was the Russian guy.
Yeah, we had the guy at the pool who was jumping around naked.
He was naked.
He didn't really get to, there wasn't really much. It wasn't
Jason
like the
Isaacs, I mean, thank God they found, they're mostly all prosthetics. Whew.
We're going to talk about that. We have that coming up. Yeah.
All right, we'll take a little break.
I love Jason Isaacs, by the way. I did a movie with that guy. He's the greatest human being in the entire world.
Tell me about him, because I'm watching him in The White Lotus, and he's riveting.
He is a fascinating, beautiful person. He's amazing. And like, I don't know why he always plays bad guys. He is the nicest guy in the entire world. But he's just an incredible actor. We shot a movie in India together, and he was in Hotel Mumbai, which I was in, and like, we just had the best time. He really is just a great dude.
You know what? He admonished a reporter for asking about his privates. We'll see that in just a second here. Not the privates. We'll see the.
It's tricky though,
the
because
little clip.
like, if you put your dick on film, people are gonna ask you about it. So like, if you get naked on camera and then you're like, "Why are you guys asking me about it?" It's like, dude.
He didn't like being asked the prosthetic question because the answer is yes, it is a prosthetic. I wish it wasn't.
Oh, is that the deal?
Yeah. He didn't like being asked. He said, "Would you ask a woman? Are those your real parts? Would you ever ask a woman there?"
Right.
That's what his thing was to the reporter.
How big is the prosthetic?
I was impressed.
You were? Okay.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
You know, I'm also a very modest person. Let's get to a quick. I just want to say, I don't know if you have TuneIn, but you should get TuneIn because you can put it right in the car. Don't miss a second of the action with TuneIn Premium and unlock access to college sports, every NHL hockey game with blackouts and more. Plus, enjoy more than 100,000 commercial-free music and news stations globally on TuneIn. Get TuneIn premium. TuneIn.com/premium and sign up today to unlock it all.
How much is the premium membership?
We'll come back right here. Premium?
Yeah.
It's like $9, but I'll tell you. No, I think it's less than that. But you know what? I'll put you on the house account. We'll be right.
I'm going to leave here with TuneIn, golf clubs. This is great.
Coming up, we're going to hear what Isaac said. We'll get into a little White Lotus. The great Armie Hammer is with us here on Hot Mics Back in 30.
Welcome to LA Golf. You guys ready for the tour? We're the only golf company that manufactures its clubs here in the United States. All LA golf drivers are built right here.
I'm very excited for today's production. It's going to be
4 left. Anybody hungry? So does he work here?
Work here? He lives here.
Dum. He is intense, Bryson DeChambeau. The guy is all over LA Golf. He is doing everything at that place. Rob Silverstein, our executive producer's in here. He's watching the White Lotus. He goes ahead. He's our advance man. He's our scout guy. So he comes back and he's like, oh, God, you're not going to believe what was in episode 5. This is bad. Oh, boy, episode 6. And last time we had, in the last episode, not only did we have Russian junk, but we had the brothers, Patrick Schwarzenegger and his younger brother. The younger brother got drunk and started kissing his brother. So now we've got incest. Mike White is really...
What's happening over there?
He's really going wild. All right, Rob.
Bill, what did you think of the kiss? Because I had teased it last week. I told you episode 5, which was last night. Episode 6 goes completely off the rails. So if you thought 5 was wild...
Between the brothers?
We're on 5 right now. But you had the brothers. They were on drugs. They were drinking. They were with the girls. And the girls started making out. So then the boys started making out.
But Patrick was so
brothers.
drunk and he didn't know what was going on. But now they go further, the brothers?
Well, we haven't reached episode 6. So I don't want to say anything more than that because that would be...
But Rob's seen episode 6.
Rob has seen episode 6.
Where are you getting these?
But I can't say more. It's just very, very. It gets more. But I want to talk about last night and the kiss, Bill. What do you think? Good kiss, bad kiss, or we grossed out? Like a lot of people are not happy about it.
I do not like the kiss between the brothers. I don't like that. No, I was not okay with that.
Don't kink
I was
shame
fine
them.
with the Russian guy jumping in the pool naked.
So was I.
Because you know what? It wasn't Jason Isaacs. It wasn't like
Well, that moves
he wasn't that hugely endowed.
Let's talk about Jason Isaacs. Let's get ready for that.
Oh, here's
one.
Jason Isaacs.
So we're not ready yet. But,
Oh, boy.
So in episode 4, there's a full frontal, and the question everyone was asking. Tell me when you're ready.
Yep.
Oh, we got to go to the clip.
Full sound. I don't know what I'm loading.
He's got to go to the clip there, Steve.
31.
We have controversy.
Okay, we're getting
They're
it
fighting.
ready. Okay, here we go. Here's the clip of Jason Isaacs on CBS this morning. Roll it.
Okay.
It's interesting because
You didn't answer the question.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because the best actress this year was Mikey Madison at the Oscars, and I don't see anybody discussing her vulva, which was on television all the time. No, I'm not talking about Swedish cars.
Your buddy said
So
vulva.
I think it's interesting that there's a double standard for men. That when women are naked, Margaret Qualley as well in The Substance, nobody would dream of talking to her about her genitalia or her nipples or any of those things. And so it's odd that there's a double standard when it comes to discussing.
But we so rarely get
It's a bit of a dodge. Bit of a dodge.
Yeah, he said
It is a dodge because I don't think that people really want to know how the sausage is made.
I kind of
Nice
do.
one.
Do you think he makes a good point there? I mean, I sort of agree with him. I can't see ever anyone saying, I could say to a Patrick Schwarzenegger, was that a prosthetic, big guy, or was that you? And I would never say that to a female actor.
Right, yeah. I guess that makes sense. But I think that there's...
I don't have the confidence to go nude. Have you ever gone full frontal nude in a movie?
I think he would.
I was naked in the Uwe movie that we did. I don't think they're showing...
one
the one we just did. I don't think they're going to show anything.
But you were naked in front of a cameraman and some other people in the room?
Yeah.
How many?
20 people?
20 people saw you nude? You must have gotten shrinkage on that. I would never have been able to...
Yeah, I mean, it's a high-stress situation.
Turn up the heat, please.
I've got a buddy of mine who puts it this way. Tom Arnold says it best. He got arrested while streaking in the cold.
I wouldn't have arrested him. Like, I'm not touching him.
Yeah. And he said, the problem was it was cold. The cops are there. I'm running. My adrenaline's so high. And then all of a sudden, this group of chicks walk by, but they saw my battle penis, not my show penis. And I'm like, that tracks. That tracks. Like,
My fight or flight.
Yeah.
I don't want to see either on Tom.
I found it interesting to be naked in like a room full of people because...
I bet you do.
Well, because it goes, your feeling of uncomfortability goes away pretty quickly. Like, you think that you're just going to be, insecure or self-conscious or whatever it is, but like very quickly, like people are just walking up to you, looking you right in the eye and going, yeah, we got to do one more, and then we're going to move the camera over here and over there, and you're like, okay, cool. And then like they walk away and you realize I just had a conversation with a fully clothed man while I was completely naked.
Oh my God, I would take a small Cialis just for the respect.
Oh, that would have been a great idea. But then that might have backfired. Like all of a sudden a breeze hits you wrong, and then all of a sudden you're like the guy who's got a hard-on on set, and everyone's like, this is unprofessional.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Hammer time. I
got another one for you, Bill.
Oh, wait. Oh, he's not.
No, I'm not done yet. The Don claims that he won another club championship.
Oh, this is great.
Okay, the whole world's going nuts. And he posts that he won at his club down in Palm Beach, that he won the club championship. Now, Bill, you know how he won the club championship, don't we?
I just saw a video of that guy this morning on my feed of him shanking the shit out of a chip shot. I mean, he's 20 yards from the green, and he goes to take like a little chip and shoots it about 80 yards directly right. And like I was like, you know that he went, that's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Oh my God. He says
Have you ever actually golfed with him?
He's golfed through me. I went to his wedding in 2005 to Melania, and he has a golf cart that goes like 45 miles an hour, and everyone else's goes 6. And so like he doesn't even say, can I play through or have to go?
Goes around
you're out in the middle, and he just hits and just keeps going. And he zooms up to his shot, and he hits again, and he keeps going. So
Are they good shots?
He's actually he's a good golfer.
What would you say his handicap is?
I would say he's a legitimately probably
10?
A 10.
Okay.
I think, which is what I am. So, I mean, like, Bush, Trump, by the way, I should play him straight up, the Donald, but he's definitely liberal with the score. So what he does in the Club Champions,
better than a 10.
He goes with his best score from the last 2 weeks. So that he doesn't play with the other members in the club championship. They play on a Friday or a Saturday, and he takes his best score over the last month and says, okay, I had a 76 on that day. Let's put that in as my tournament score because I'm the president. I can't be here with the other people in the tournament. So my 76 trumps and I win. So he's won 1 million club championships at 78. All club champions are between 19 and 40. 19 and 40 years old are the club champions of every club.
100%.
He's 78. It's not possible.
I guess it's easy to win the championship when it's at your club.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Bill, we got one more before we say goodbye.
Okay.
Conan O'Brien was announced today. Again, this is 11 months away as the Oscar host for next year. And he says, I want to hear Adrian Brody finish his speech.
That's a good line.
Okay, are the Oscars just playing it safe? I thought Conan was good. He wasn't great.
I thought Conan was great. Did you watch Conan O'Brien? Did you watch the Oscars?
I didn't watch this year.
I thought he was very good.
Yeah, I like Conan. I think he's very funny and very sharp. I just remember like, you remember when Jim Carrey hosted the Oscars?
No.
This is like in the 90s.
He did?
Yeah, I want to say like late 90s.
I remember
maybe?
Hugh Jackman doing it. I remember James Franco and Anne Hathaway doing it.
Oh, that was hilarious.
My favorite one, which I'll never forget, when Seth MacFarlane came out and he sang, "We saw you nude."
Oh,
no,
yeah.
we saw your boobs.
We saw your boobs.
We saw your boobs. And all the women in the audience laughed. I saw them laughing. Halle Berry, we saw your boobs in Monster, and Tina Van, we saw your boobs. Da-da. And he did this whole chorus with these men marching and the whole thing, and all the women are laughing. I remember cutaways of Nicole Kidman and Meryl Streep laughing, and the next day, somehow, as the internet does, it turned into an outrage. Well, what a horrible misogynistic thing, and he's never coming back. You have to issue an apology. But I'm like, no, I remember the cutaways. People laughed.
This just goes back to what we were saying about the objectification of men's bodies. Like we were just talking about this with Jason Isaac's penis.
Jason, we saw your
Yeah. By the way, I actually someone sent me a picture of Jason on the show as he's in his robe, kind of like spread eagle, and
the hammer.
Yeah. I
saw the hammer.
I texted him and I just said, "I saw your dick," and that's all I said in the text message. And then I didn't hear anything back, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then the next day, I saw like the media maelstrom of sort of like everything blowing up, and I was like, great. Now I contributed to him like being like, everyone's talking about my penis.
Yet?
No.
No.
Bill.
Send it again.
Bill, Jim Carrey never hosted the Oscars.
Jim Carrey never hosted the Oscars.
What? I remember
the Oscars.
MTV Music Awards.
Maybe
MTV Music Awards.
There was. I have such a clear image in my head of Jim Carrey coming out with like a fig leaf over his junk
at the MTV Movie Awards, and that's why I have
was
a research
that the MTV
department.
Music Awards?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. But maybe he will sometime.
Listen,
Armie,
in my world, he hosted the Oscars and he was awesome.
I love you for coming in here. I love you anyway, and let's play pickleball. And,
Yes. Why don't you have a pickleball sponsor?
We'll get one because I play a lot. I got a little court at the house, and we're gonna go and we're gonna play. But I really love you. I love your story. I love that you got back up. You're a good man.
I want to give you a compliment too. You're great, dude. And one thing that you're great at is you do such a good job of demonstrably showing people that you care about them. And you text me and you check in on me and you ask me how I'm doing. And I'm an asshole who doesn't respond every time, and you never let that dissuade you from actually just showing people that you care. And I think that that is an awesome quality. So I want to just say that.
I'm going to accept that. Thank you very much for that compliment. Hammer time, baby. I enjoyed it so much.
See you, Bushman.
That's it for us. Hot Mics with Billy Bush, presented by LA Golf. Take your swing to the next level with LA Golf's cutting-edge technology. Hammer, you're getting a set of clubs. Visit lagolf.com yourself. Upgrade your game. Thanks for listening to us. You can just, it's on TuneIn or YouTube. Please hit subscribe if you're listening and watching on YouTube, and you can just yell at Alexa and, to turn on Hot Mics with Billy Bush, and she'll do it. If you missed a show, go to tunein.com/Hot Mics. Please hit subscribe. We're desperate. Thank you to all of our great crew, and especially our landlord, Fred Trump. There he is, standing at the door, getting his check. Howie Mandel. See you, folks.
Calvin.